नमस्कार जी कंपेनियन योर स्टोरी में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। मैं हूं कनिका। हमें बचपन से सिखाया जाता है टू हाइड आवर फ्लॉज, बट व्हाट डज इट टेक टू एम्ब्रेस एंड फ्लॉन्ट देम विद अ लॉट ऑफ करेज। हमारी आज की मेहमान ने कुछ ऐसा ही करके दिखाया है।
My name's Nini Galot. I've chosen to come out and speak about vitiligo, which is a skin condition that I've been suffering and battling with for the last 14 years. Why I've decided to speak about it now? Well, let's just say I felt like the time was right. This will help others as well who are also affected by this skin condition. It's my trademark.
नीनू जी कंपेनियन में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है एंड ग्रेट स्टोरी।
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Ninu, सबसे पहले, because a lot of our viewers might not know about vitiligo, so tell us, from your experience, what all you know about this problem, this skin issue, and what are its causes, symptoms, जो भी आपके experience में आपने notice किया है.
Sure, of course. So the best way to explain it is vitiligo is this. It's this what you can see here. It's pretty much when the skin loses its pigmentation and white patches appear. No one knows the reasons as to why vitiligo happens. It can come and go at any stage. And why it happens, no one knows.
It's amazing how कितनी skin की problems हैं जिसमें doctors also say we don't know what it causes it and there's no cure for it. Like so we get a lot of callers on our show. We've discussed blepharitis, psoriasis, and I didn't know vitiligo is one of them. But it's fascinating how in today's day and age अभी भी इतनी problems हैं जिनका solution नहीं है. But आपने कब, like when did you first encounter it in your life?
Sure. My first patch that I got was when I was 11 years old. It was just a small patch. It was about, I'd say it's about this size.
Like
and
this size?
That's it. And it was on the back of my neck. And that patch stayed there until after university. It didn't change size or shape, nothing.
Did you see a doctor at that time?
I did. I went to see a dermatologist. I saw my GP. And to be honest, at that age, I wasn't really bothered by it that much.
Yeah.
It was a small patch. I had bob cut hair at that time. And because it wasn't noticeable to anyone else, it didn't make a difference. And even at university, when I used to go out, my hair used to be down. So no one noticed it then either.
And कब बढ़ा ये? When did it grow and when did it become something that was a problem or visible or too big?
Sure.
When did it spread rather?
Yeah, it was after I left university. That was the time when I was also building my business as well. And suddenly these white patches just appeared all over my body. At that time, I didn't know what was going on. I went to see my GP. He suggested having some homeopathic medicine. So I did, and I started taking these liquid drinks, which just made it worse.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it just got to a stage then where it was uncontrollable. And being someone who's always strive for perfection in life, this was something that I just couldn't control. And
we don't like things we can't control.
Of course not. No one does. I mean, everyone likes to stay in control in life, some more than others. And I always believe in life that if you work hard for something, anything's possible. But with the vitiligo, that for me, it didn't happen.
So, Ninu, 14 साल, 14 years आपने vitiligo को battle किया है, and I know I've read your story, so I believe it's gotten better. But tell us about how hard, कितना मुश्किल है ये physically and mentally, because I think there are two aspects of it.
Sure. Gosh, बहुत मुश्किल था. I'm not going to speak too much in Hindi because it's not great.
I mean, fine.
I suppose the best time to practice is going to be on national TV, right? It was really challenging, not just for me, but for my family as well. When I first started, when I had that outburst of vitiligo, I hated it. I hated it because I couldn't control it. The only thing the doctor said to me at that time was, use this Dermavate cream. It was a steroid cream. And they said, you can try it, but we can't guarantee any results. And you have to be very careful when using it as well because it's going to thin the skin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the side effects of it. And I started off using it, but I didn't carry on using it because I remember when I used to apply it, I mean, I had it quite severe. And when I started applying and I used to look at it, I didn't like it. I didn't like looking at my skin. I didn't like looking at myself. And so for that reason, I didn't continue using the Dermovate cream. It might work for some other people, but for me, it didn't. And
skin varies person to person.
of course it does. Even in terms of any treatment, it's going to vary according to the person. Something that works for me might not necessarily work for someone else. So I was completely distraught by the whole situation. I didn't know what to do. The only thing for me was being emotional about it. I used to cry. I used to cry behind closed doors because I didn't want anyone else to see me being upset. But my family who know me, obviously family know if the other person's upset.
Of course.
But I used to try and hide it from them.
What a brave thing to do.
Thank you, thank you. And so I suffered in a way in a silence. I used to cry when they weren't looking because I didn't want to upset them. And any parent out there is never going to want to see their child upset. So I used to cry in the bedroom, or I used to cry in the bathroom when no one could see it. And it was at that time that my sister actually a friend of my sister's actually told her about this treatment in Milan, which was a UV light treatment, which is what people have seen on the promo. And I flew out to Milan. This was in October 2004. And at that time, I went to see the doctors and they did a test patch and they saw some reaction. The reaction was the skin turned pink, which was a good reaction, which meant the treatment was going to work.
Okay.
So I started having that treatment fortnightly. And up till last year, I've been constantly having that treatment. It's been a roller coaster ride because there were times when my skin was completely healed. All the patches had completely disappeared. And then at other times, the patches started to come back. So I was constantly fighting it. And my family at that time used to keep saying to me, you don't need to have this treatment. People will love you for who you are. And the thing is, it's not about anyone else.
Yeah.
It's about the individual person. It's about us. And I didn't realize that at the time. I realized that, gosh, when was it? When the vitiligo appeared on my hands, this was last year in March, when I came back from Dubai, and I was at my aunt's house, and I was eating Indian food. And obviously Indian people know if to really enjoy your food, you've got to eat with your hands.
Absolutely.
And I was at my aunt's place, and I was eating my food. And at the same time, I was looking at these white patches that had just suddenly appeared out of nowhere.
Really?
And I thought, wow, I really can't hide this anymore. And again, I had my emotional outbursts. And at that time, my sister suggested to me that maybe you need to go and see someone about it. And I thought, hold on a minute, what are you trying to say? Do you think I'm crazy? And I thought to myself, Nini, you're either going to let the vitiligo control you, or you're going to take control now, and you're going to get through this. And it was during that year that I attended some personal development seminars, and I read a book by Louise Hay, which was called Heal Your Life. And that was the best thing that I ever did. She taught me about self-love. She taught me to love myself as a person and to change my view about the way that I looked at things. And last year was a journey in itself for me. Last year in October, I also went traveling. And at that time, I realized that no one noticed the vitiligo apart from me.
That's such an amazing thing you've just said.
Yeah. And I think majority of the times, it always comes down to that. We, as people, are our own worst enemies. We think too much about things. We always worry about what the person's going to say. And I think especially in the Asian society, what I found is that you hear a lot of people talk about vitiligo, but in the Asian community, no one talks about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that हमारे शो पे भी आज तक मेरे सामने at least we've never had a caller about vitiligo, and that just made me think that hang on a second, I'm sure it's there. I know of someone or the other who has it, But yeah, they don't call. It's probably a topic people shy away from, and it's not nice to shy away.
I would say it might be due to embarrassment, or it's purely just down to the fact that no one talks about it. I know when the vitiligo got really bad for me, my wardrobe changed. From going from someone, I mean, I've always been very fashion conscious. I just love fashion.
We can see that. You
Thank you
look
so
amazing.
Much. Thank you so much. And I started to wear, I know I'm fully dressed here, but coming on TV today wearing a bikini wouldn't have been appropriate. So, but my wardrobe changed. To cover up the marks, I wore long sleeves and yeah. And it's only until recently that my whole wardrobe's gone back to normal again. And that's all comes down to me doing the fitness competition.
Talking about that, I mean, for someone, जिन्होंने 14 साल तक battled, vitiligo and struggled, had some positive days, but also had a lot of tough days. From there, आपने, कहा, you know what, I'm not going to let this rule my life, and you decided to enter Europe's largest fitness competition. So that is amazing. Tell us very briefly about that, and then we want to show our viewers a very chotu sa inside sneak peek into that competition.
Of course. So I love challenges. I always believe the best part is about growing in life. So my brother actually is into health and fitness. He, earlier on this year, he said to me, "Oh, Nina, why don't we enter a fitness competition together?"
Oh my God.
And I thought to myself, what's the point of waiting till tomorrow? We never know what might happen.
Yeah.
So I had to be realistic in terms of the category that I was going to enter, because to grow muscle, it's not easy. And I've learned that. From doing the fitness competition, I've realized it involves a lot of hard work. So on the internet, I searched what different organizations there were, the different categories, and I found there was a category which I knew I could work towards. So I decided to go for the international model category. They wanted someone slim, trim, similar to a Victoria's Secret model look. And I thought, brilliant, every girl wants to look like a Victoria's Secret model, so why not? So I decided to enter that category. And it took me 16 weeks to get in shape.
Before we get more of that, we have a sneak peek video of Ninu deciding and showing us कि वो क्या पहनेंगी various rounds of the competition में. Take a look.
What do you think?
It's very nice.
It's nice, right? And imagine with the hair down, with the outfits, that colour looks prominent now, but it would be less prominent with all the outfits. So, like, the outfits have the colour.
I wanted to still display Indian culture, so what I've decided to do is wear an Indian lehenga for the international model round 2, and for the same and also when picking the outfits, I know when I speak with Veronica later on, I did keep emphasising to her that I don't want to be too revealing on stage either, because I still wanted to respect my culture. So I've had these gowns made, capes, sorry. So in the first international model round, it's pretty much the look that I've gone from is from the Victoria's Secret's 2004 fashion show, where Adriana Lima's wearing a blue outfit. So you'll see the outfit later on, but I've got a matching blue cape to go with it. And for the transformation round, it's a green bikini, and Pure Elite have allowed me to wear a robe on stage. Because obviously I wanted to show off my vitiligo, but still not be completely exposed on stage either. Let's start getting packing now. Okay.
I love the cape and the lehenga, and I think you would make an amazing model. You are a fitness model, I know, but I think you'd make an amazing, any category model, not just one. Anuradha hai hamare saath line pe. She wants to speak to you, or she has something to say. Good evening, Anuradha. How are you? Namaskar. बताइए क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप हमारे साथ आज? And अगर आप नीनू से कोई सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं तो वो लाइन पे हैं.
Hi, good evening. My name is Anuradha. I just wanted to ask a question. This question is for Ninu. I know she's been talking about her skin condition earlier, and when she had the condition, how she dealt with it. Did she blame her parents for genetically predisposed or anything? And how did she overcome all the barrier and everything?
Sure. Hi, Anuradha. Thank you so much for calling in. Oh gosh, no, I never blamed my parents. I don't think I actually ever blamed anyone for the vitiligo apart from myself. I prayed a lot to God every day, and I was like, please God, make me better. But apart from that, no, I didn't blame anyone. I didn't know why it was happening to me. That was a question that I used to always keep asking, but there was definitely no blame. And sorry, there was a second part that you asked me as well.
How did you deal with the whole, vitiligo, like the impact it has? What made you so confident and, to overcome the fears that it brings?
Wow. Okay, that was a step-by-step journey. It took time, and like I've mentioned today, it's probably been a year. The journey started last year after I realized that when I got it in my hands, and I attended personal development seminars. I went traveling. I moved up to London earlier on this year because I found living in Reading, I was becoming slightly introverted. And being the bubbly, social person that I am, I didn't want that to happen to me. And then the fitness competition, I think that was the best thing that I ever did. It made me emotionally and physically stronger, that now I'm able to come out here and speak to everyone about it today.
Thank you so much, Ninu. Anuradha ji, बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे शो पे कॉल करने के लिए. Keep calling us, and it was a good question. Thank you. We have another caller for you.
Sure.
They've chosen to be anonymous. So, good evening, namaskar. Please tell us your thoughts or your question for Ninu.
I've had what you call this Vitiligo, what she's got, and I've had it now since I moved house. That started me off behind my neck, and I've got it in my hair, in my head, and I don't know what it is. And when I went to my doctor, he said it could have been a nervous reaction that has started it off. So he sent me to a specialist lady in my area where I live, and I went to her, the doctor, and she saw me, and she said to me, there's nothing much can be done about this. You're lucky you've got it behind your neck and you've got it in your head, and hopefully it might stay that way, or it might go in your body eventually. But this only happened when I moved house, because I was living in London and then I moved into my area, a Stevenage area, and I don't know, I was so upset and all, and he said it could be a nervous reaction. Is that true or what? I don't know. And I mean, I'm all right. I know I have to live with it, but it's amazing. I never knew. And suddenly one day my husband said, "What's wrong with your neck? You've got a big white thing round it." I said, "Rubbish." I looked in the mirror, I said, "Oh my God." And I don't know how long I had it, but I didn't have it before. And this is what the doctor said. Is this true? A nervous reaction or something?
Well, thank you for calling in and sharing your experience. After all I'm not an expert on the topic. Everything that I'm talking about is from my journey and research that I've done myself. And a lot of the times they do say it can be stress related. So maybe the move, it might have been stressful. So it could have triggered that to have happened. And in terms of what the GP has said, it's true. With vitiligo, you never know the extent. And I think that's one of the things that I always found the hardest, was that you don't have control of it. But one thing that you do have control over is how you think about it. And I've found recently myself that as soon as I've stopped focusing on the vitiligo, it's getting better on its own. The pigments on my hands, which were initially, over here, this is pure white. Over here on my hands, you can see it's starting to go to pink. Since I've stopped caring about it being there and I've changed my focus, I can see the pigments coming back. I mean, the only thing that I can say is I've tried lots and lots of treatments, but the thing that I found the most is how I viewed the vitiligo and changing my thoughts about it. I mean, you're beautiful as a person as you are, and whether it's there or not should not change you as a person. And I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Ninu, and thanks to you for your call. We feel that people need to start talking about it, especially in our community, हमारी Asian society में. So thank you, आपने अपनी journey के बारे में हमें बताया. अच्छा, before I continue this conversation, I think हमें अपने viewers को आपकी amazing footage दिखानी है from the competition. She looked absolutely ravishing with that amazing body, and जैसे कि नीनू खुद कहती हैं, she flaunted her trademark vitiligo as well. Have a look.
For years, she has been embarrassed about her skin condition, vitiligo. She used to cover her skin on the beach. Now she's comfortable in her own skin and wants to wear awareness for the condition.
Hats off to you, Ninu. What you've done there, it's absolutely commendable. हम पता नहीं क्यों लोगों के नज़रिए से perfect दिखना चाहते हैं, and the way you just flaunted it, I think it'll go a very, very long way. So well done. But please हमें बताइए, what did it take to gather that courage, confidence to do that, what you achieved?
I honestly don't know. It just came from somewhere from within, and it just felt right. Looking at that footage just now, I still can't believe it. You know, there was times when I used to go on beach holidays and I used to cover my skin on the beach. I used to hate it. Or if I was lying there in a bikini, I put something over my face just to block myself away from the outside world so I couldn't see anyone else. And even underneath that cloth, that material, whatever it was, I would be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, someone's walking past now, they're looking at my vitiligo. And I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did it, but that was the best thing that I ever did. Because when I stepped on stage, I set myself free.
Amazing.
This vitiligo that had controlled my life for so long, suddenly I took control of it. And it didn't mean anything to me anymore. And now when I talk about it, I think to myself, what's the big deal? Why am I making such a big fuss about it? You know, it's just vitiligo.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show how far I've come.
And I think मुझे जो सबसे अमेजिंग बात लगी आपकी जर्नी की, जैसा कि आपने कहा कि जब आपने इसके बारे में परेशान होना बंद कर दिया, चिंता करना बंद कर दिया, उसके बाद वो बेटर होने लगा. And I think that is a very big lesson and very good learning for all of us जिनके पास कोई ना कोई स्किन इशू होता है. अक्सर डॉक्टर्स कहते हैं हमें नहीं पता ये क्यों हुआ है या कैसे ठीक होगा, लेकिन स्ट्रेस एक कारण हो सकता है. तो अगर आप भी ऐसी किसी प्रॉब्लम से जूझ रहे, प्लीज़ टेंशन मत लीजिए, whether that's blepharitis, psoriasis or something else, and hopefully it'll get better on its own. Ninu, I want to ask you something, that 14 years is a long time and you're so young, it's probably half your life. But do you think, because vitiligo kahin na kahin impacts confidence, and you're a successful entrepreneur, you're a ravishing, fitness model, do you think in your journey, agar aapke paas access hota to some groups you did something amazing by going to personal development, coaches and stuff like that. But do you think as a society हम ज़्यादा support कर सकते हैं for people who might be struggling with this or something similar in skin conditions?
Yes, definitely, of course. I think when I was suffering with it before, there weren't many people out there talking about vitiligo or anything that was of a concern to them. Nowadays, you've got the likes of Winnie Harlow. I mean, she's amazing, She's gone out there and she's embraced herself. She's turned her weakness into her strength, and she's doing an amazing job. You've got our own people such as Deepika Paronko. She's gone out talking about depression.
Yes.
Once again, these are all strong women, and they haven't cared about society. They haven't cared about the fact that talking about it, is it going to make them look like a weak person? Even before I chose to come out and speak about it, I thought to myself, people have always seen me as a strong character. People don't know what I've gone through. And by me speaking about it, what will people think of me? And the response that I've got from everyone is amazing. But the thing is, though, this is not about me.
Yeah.
This is about everyone else who's probably suffering with it at the moment. And I just want them to realize that they're not on their own. This is something that I went through before, but I was very fortunate that I had my family there, my friends, they were very supportive.
Yeah.
And the reason for coming out and speaking about this now is there's two things. First thing is I want to help those people who are suffering. And the second thing is to change society's way of thinking about it. Especially after doing research, I found out of all the places around the world, in India, it's the worst. The stigma associated with vitiligo, they call it safed dag, white patches.
Yeah.
And, and even in today's day and age, some people actually believe if you touch someone's hand or who's got vitiligo, that you might catch it. They think it's contagious. If one girl's got vitiligo, no one will want to marry her because they think it might not be acceptable to their family.
Goodness, it is not spreadable. It's not an infection that किसी और को हो जाएगा. People who are suffering from vitiligo, आप उनको क्या message देना चाहेंगे?
Don't be hard on yourself. Don't look at me today and think, wow, look at her sitting there, she's so confident. It's taken me time to get here. So look at it as a journey, take it a step at a time, and more importantly, love yourself. Just be real and just love the person that you are, because you only have one life.
Amazing. Ninu, 30 seconds, very quickly.
Sure.
How can we change the fact that Asian society इस बारे में बात ही नहीं करना चाहती?
Simple answer, talk about it. Make people more comfortable about coming out and speaking about it. I won't say force them to talk about it. Let everyone do it when they're ready to talk about it. But just be there for them, and anyone else who's out there suffering in silence, speak to your friends and family. You'll feel a lot lighter from doing that. I know I did.
Ninu, absolutely inspirational. Thank you so much. I hope आपकी वजह से लोग imperfections को थोड़ा अच्छे से perfectly देखने लगे. But thanks again for being with us.
I hope so. Thank you.
आज के लिए बस इतना ही. अगर आप नीनू से कोई सवाल करना चाहते हैं, अपनी जर्नी हमारे साथ शेयर करना चाहते हैं, तो आप हमें Z Companion के email ID पे अपने thoughts या सवाल भेज सकते हैं. And we'll see you tomorrow on Friday Fever. नमस्कार, शुभ रात्रि.